gamers, it's Robo, and we're back with another episode of Robo-Reviews. And on this episode of Robo-Reviews, we're gonna take a look at this bad boy, the JC Airsoft Limitless AirFrame Reproduction Helmet. Check it out. So here it is, the JC Airsoft Limitless AirFrame, a airsoft reproduction of the Crye Precision AirFrame ballistic helmet. Now I gotta say, it's probably one of the best reproductions of the Crye AirFrame, if not actually one of the best repros I've seen in airsoft, just due to its overall quality. Now it's been quite some time since I've ran a repro, so I don't know how really the market has responded since I sort of started running real ops cores, but man, I gotta tell you, this is really well done. Now, of course, it does have some positives as well as negatives, and we'll cover that so we can kind of get the full spectrum of reproduction users. But if you are looking for a reproduction helmet for airsoft, this just might be up your alley. So let's cover those positives and negatives, just to kind of illustrate what you might be getting into. Now, in terms of the outside, the overall construction is still a polymer. It's not a real ballistic helmet, obviously. That polymer is fiberglass reinforced, which means it's a little bit stronger than your traditional molded plastic reproduction helmet. So that's always positives in my book there. Now it features all of the outside features one would come to expect from a Crye Precision AirFrame in reproduction form, being side rails on both sides, as well as mounting clips for your goggles, should you want to use that. Of course, it does have a night vision shroud on the front, as well as night vision retention bungees, and features the very famous, or very well known at this point in time, split shell that the Crye AirFrame is known for. And this is actually on there to actually let heat dissipate from your head and wind to come into the helmet to cool you down. Now, in terms of the internals, this is actually one of the places where this repro really shines. Getting it out of the way, there is a traditional H-nape retention system in here, which from my perspective is sort of but that's neither here nor there. Realize that's just because I've become so accustomed to an ops core OC dial, and now an ops core worm dial of the Lux liner. So this is still a very reliable retention system found on many helmets like the Mitch, actually. It's well done. It has all the features you would want out of a good reproduction retention system, like nice strong polymer buckles, as well as all of the adjustment points, and the inside of the chin strap features a nice soft leather, if not sort of like a suede. I think it's probably a soft leather, and that's the same thing with the actual H-nape itself. And this can go a long way in terms of wearing this thing in a milsim for any sort of extended period of time. These chin straps, if you're a non-bearded guy, can really start to wear on your chin, or if you're a bearded guy, can really start to sort of wear on your neck. And that's the same thing with the H-nape, whether you're a baldy, got hair, or you're kind of a buzz cut kind of guy. If that's not soft and supple and can sort of absorb some moisture, you're in for a not good time over a longer period of time. Now, really where this kind of impresses me, honestly, I've worn a lot of repros in my day, and that is, I gotta give it to them. They include 10 pads in here, okay? And it's sort of like a memory foam, or they say it's a memory foam on their website. Neither here nor there, actually, in my world. The end of the day, these are the best pads I have ever seen come with a reproduction helmet. These pads tend to rebound their shape after you press on them. Always good. Again, another good sign that they maybe are some form of memory foam. But the biggest thing here is, I gotta go back to, I've worn a lot of reproduction helmets. I've worn a lot of reproduction pads. And very quickly, most of them either become mush, or again, like say Repro fast or ops core helmets, they have like that sort of like styrofoam behind them, and then the pad disappears. So then you've got not really a pad, you've got this hard thing digging into your head, which is great if you're gonna fall down off your bike or whatever, but in terms of comfort over a long period of time in a milsim setting, they're crap. These are not crap. And I got to give them a huge thumbs up. Whoever decided to spend more money on these pads, I got to give you kudos, man, because you really sort of are understanding the problems that arise from wearing repros. They're just, because they're a cost-saving helmet, because you don't need real ballistic protection, usually that comes with cost-saving pads, and I don't think they've gone that direction here. Now, in terms of durability, I can't really speak on that, and the reason for that, full disclosure, is these JC helmets actually fit more towards a real world large, extra large. I'm more of a medium large kind of guy, at least in ops core. The positive of that is, for you guys that have a bigger noodle, I know you guys have a really hard time finding a nice helmet to wear in terms of reproductions, because at the end of the day, most reproductions are medium large. And for a lot of you guys with bigger heads, there's no other option. And it's like wearing a vise on your head. I mean, any longer than like a half an hour, you guys are getting headaches. And that's not set up for I'm having a good time in a milsim. So the JC line of helmets, whether that be this airframe, they also offer a Mitch and they also offer a Fast Maritime. They are of the large XL variety. And that means for you guys, an awesome fitting helmet. For me, it meant limited testing actually. It fits enough that I can wear it for pictures or if I'm just standing around. But as soon as I move my head, there's a lot of wobble, which for me, I can't really wear in a milsim, obviously. Everybody would know why you can't wear a milsim helmet if it doesn't even fit. So I can only really test the durability for a very short amount of time. And I mean very short, like for pictures, or really I was just testing the comfort, the overall comfort. But again, I didn't really wear it for that long, so I can just kind of respond in that fashion. But for you guys with bigger noodles, this is definitely gonna be a huge plus. And like I said, gotta go back to it. These pads are a huge selling point of this reproduction helmet. So that being said, the positives sort of taken care of, I do want to talk about some negatives. All things have positives and negatives in life. You haven't figured that out? Figure that out. Nothing is perfect in this world. And I truly believe, as most of you guys know, when it comes to my reviews, I want to talk about everything. You guys deserve to know everything about these before you spend your hard-earned cash or choose to go down a certain route. For some of you, these are going to be very small negatives. You might not even hit their use case. For me though, and it's just because I'm a little bit more advanced of a helmet user than say your average airsofter, they're pretty big ones for me, so I got to comment on them. The first I'm going to handle is actually the side rails. The side rails, molded beautifully. Do not get me wrong, these are some beautifully molded side rails. The only problem I find with them, it comes from the standpoint, I should say, of needing to mount accessories here. And that is, they're pretty flimsy, okay? So if you were to actually mount any sort of considerable amount of accessories on there, I would start to worry about the durability. Or at least the safety of your mounted items. So, you know, you start loading things up like Peltor adapters with Peltors on there, or Surefire lights, or Princeton Tech lights, whatever have you. I feel it on a run, this is gonna move a lot, okay? If I can do this with my hand, it's probably gonna do that in the field in some extreme case. And with that, the universe doesn't care, and it's usually at the most inopportune time that something goes wrong. So I'd be afraid of that. That's sort of minor in compared to this next one. And again, this next one is pretty much actually only sort of focused at you night vision users. Kind of my standpoint across the board, and I need to kind of say this to you night vision users. If you're going to invest in night vision, I really want you to think about maybe some of the supplemental things that go into that investment, like maybe a real helmet. And I'll show you mine in a second just to show you a comparison between what's right and what's wrong about this one. Now let's just say you don't care and you are going to use a Repro helmet for night vision. I mean, that's really not for me to decide. I'm not your dad, okay? Let's go over why you need to be kind of careful with this one. And again, this is just some feedback for the JC Airsoft guys. Maybe they didn't kind of consider this, okay? And that is, this is a standard night vision mount. This is actually a Wilcox L4G24 mount, okay? Yes, it's super sexy. It's a little bit pricey, but if you're using night vision, I would suggest that you invest in the best sort of supplemental tools to go with that night vision. And here's where the problem lies. It's now in this mount, and that's awesome. That's great. It fits the mount, but there's just an absolute ton of wobble in there. Okay. Now again, this is maybe just my standpoint on night vision and such, but if I go and invest, you know, potentially thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in a night vision utility, and I want to mount it to the front of this helmet, okay, do I want to trust that this is safe with that much wobble? Okay, yeah, I get it. There's retention bungees here and whatnot, okay? These are a secondary safety device, okay? These are a secondary retention device. The main retention devices on a helmet when it comes to night vision are the actual night vision mount itself and the shroud, okay? And really it comes down to the shroud. If this is not absolutely 100% tight, firm fitting, I worry, okay? And I'm probably not gonna risk wearing night vision on here. Is this gonna affect everybody? No, because straight up, not everybody has night vision or is dumb, as I am maybe, spending or investing money in night vision, unless you're a mill guy. And then if you're a mill guy, you're buying a real Crye airframe or some other real helmet, so that's not even an issue. But I do wanna show you the comparison here. That wobble versus the wobble of my actual maritime helmet. So this is an actual ballistic helmet, and this is an actual Wilcox shroud. And look at the difference here when I mount this Wilcox connector to it. It doesn't move at all. It just doesn't. It is just perfectly machined to fit. That's something you can trust with night vision. Again, I'm kind of, beating a dead horse a bit, and maybe an arena that doesn't matter for some of you. Because at the end of the day, you probably, again, if you own night vision, are gonna buy a helmet like this because it just makes sense. This is so much money. By comparison, this is such a small cost to protect your investment up here. So you're probably not going to run into the case where you're wearing the Limitless AirFrame with real nods and the shroud breaks. But to all fairness, to all people, for all your informational needs, I do need to mention that. But like I said, it's maybe just small beans. You probably are maybe that person that just doesn't care. But you need to know. Now, with those things said, I mean, really, those are the only two negatives that I can find. The rest of it is superbly well done. I mean, in terms of a reproduction helmet, I really can't think of finding a better one. The only other version that maybe comes close to this, and I don't really think they're that widely available anymore, is the Dragon Red ones from a really long time ago. Again, also too big for my head, so I never got into them. But in terms of a really good repro that's available right now by a company that is directly in the United States instead of overseas, JC Airsoft really puts together a nice repro. Some housekeeping specifics here. You can find this on jcairsoft.com. Pretty simple. It goes for $119.99. It's a steal. Honestly, it's a steal for the quality you're getting. And again, look around on the net. You're gonna see people giving it just huge thumbs up all around. Again, especially you guys with big heads, because I mean, you guys have always been on the constant quest in Airsoft to find a helmet, a repro helmet at least, that actually fits. This comes in black, which obviously you see here. It comes the traditional tan that you see most Crye airframes in, and then it also comes in OD. Now I got black in hopes that it would fill out a black loadout of mine, but again, unfortunately it just doesn't fit me to where I would actually wear it. So got black anyways, but again, you got three colors to choose from, so pick your poison. Now, in terms of this being too big for me, I got to talk to JC Airsoft. I was obviously going to keep this, but I might actually see if they'd be down with, don't mark this in concrete yet, but I might see if they might be down with me doing a little bit giveaway of the helmet to maybe give it to one of you guys. So I will keep you informed on that. Obviously follow my Instagram, which is just Robo Murray, all one word. I usually post any of my giveaways. I don't really do a lot of them. I do have a Lalo one coming up probably next week. But again, I'm gonna talk to JC Airsoft and see what they want to do about this, whether they want me to send it back, or again, I think in their best interest, it might be good to get it into one of your hands if you guys can find it useful and it turns out to be a nice little gift for you. So there it is, guys, the JC Airsoft Limitless AirFrame. Like I said, probably one of the best reproduction helmets on the market. Definitely if you're looking for a Crye airframe. So check them out, jcairsoft.com. I will link them in the description below. Pick one up if you've been looking for a reproduction helmet with both quality, comfort, and again, an option for you big noodle kind of guys. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope this helped. So there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed this review of the Limitless AirFrame Repro helmet. Like I said, it is quite the quality helmet in terms of repros for the money and value you get out of it. So if you're interested, do check out jcairsoft.com. I've got them linked in the description below. Now in terms of gameplay coming down the pipes, I definitely have gameplay video number 1 for my regular gameplay series from Copperhead 2.5 coming down the tubes most imminently. That should be out later this week sometime. So be on the lookout for that one. Obviously I have a ton of footage from the rest of Copperhead as well as Op 34 and Faded Giant coming down the pipes. Now in terms of reviews, most imminently I'm going to be taking a look at the Virtus Outdoor Group 3-layer jacket system you guys have all been seeing me test both on my Facebook and Instagram, as well as the Crisis Application Group Tier 1 IFAK kit. Down the pipes a little further, I'm going to be looking at the Perroz Designs low profile slick plate carrier. So again, a ton of content coming up for you guys because I'm playing a lot of catch up from my busy fall season. So I appreciate the patience. You'll be rewarded shortly. Now, as always, guys, I do want to take a second to thank my foremost awesome sponsors, being Enola Gay Tactical Smoke Grenades, Red Wolf Airsoft, Coyote Tactical Solutions, and Virtus Outdoor Group. Now, these 4 companies provide me support in such a way that allow me to do more airsoft, but more importantly, bring you guys more gameplay, more reviews, and more philosophies to learn from and enjoy. So big thumbs up to these companies. If you guys could do me a solid and visit the websites that I've got linked in the description below. Thanks, guys. Now, whether you did or you didn't like this video, this guy still wants to know about it. Drop me a line in the comments below. I do love the feedback and the conversation. If you could do me a huge solid, that is like, subscribe, and share with all your friends. Keeps me happening in this YouTube game. And until next time, guys, keep having fun playing airsoft, being good community members, film what you love. Later, guys.